you
Right.
know?
Now during the 80s, there was like that huge Satanism scare with all these PSAs saying if your child has any of these, and there's this ridiculous list that had like a fern, a mirror, a notebook included in that. But like that whole scare there. Have you ever been like accused of it or made a subject of like pointing out that Hirax is a Satanism band that
Yeah. Well, when that happened, you're asking. I'm not just saying this. Maybe it's because we're just hanging out, having this talk like friends, but you're asking good questions. In the 80s, with the whole PMRC thing, that was like the beginning of hell. Like, that's what's funny. They were supposed to try to, make things like they were going after hell, but they were the ones who were hell. Like, they didn't even understand. Basically, it was a witch hunt. That's really what it was. It was a witch hunt, and they didn't even know what they were doing. It's like somebody putting on an old Metallica record and not being prepared for it because they've been listening to new Metallica, so they probably think old Metallica sucks if they listen to the new shit, So like with the PMRC, Tipper Gore, who's Al Gore's wife, or no, I don't even think they're still together, actually. So hey, that goes to show you, But anyways, Al Gore's wife, Tipper Gore, at the time, she was on a witch hunt, so we were one of the bands that was in her stack of records that kids shouldn't listen to, even though we weren't a satanic band at all. But it just goes to show you how ignorant those people are when they put every heavy metal band or thrash, whatever band, into one little box, and they say all those bands are evil. But to be honest with you, they didn't know what the hell they were doing. They were actually evil for doing what they did. Like you can't say all people are the same because we're not.
Right. I remember like a documentary or something. There's this woman talking about. Right.
Hold on one second.
All right, no problem.
Anna! Hold on a second, Mike. This is what's great. This is a real interview. My wife left something in the oven, and I got to go turn it off. So hold on. And I'm going to grab a beer. 1 sec. Do you want to do a song real quick?
Oh, sure. No problem.
Play a song and call me back. I got to make sure my house doesn't burn down.
Okay, no problem.
All right, I'll be with you in a second. Just call me back when you're ready, okay?
All right, see. And for who missed the interviews earlier, I was interviewing Jeff Rappaport and Keith Carney. Jeff Rappaport's from Metal Rules TV, and Keith Carney's from Fallout Zine. All right.
Hey.
All right. And now we're
Everything's
back.
cool. Everything's cool. I got a beer.
All right. Good thing your house is not on fire.
Yeah.
Metal as fire is. It's not metal when you're burning alive.
Well, I want to make sure I save my Kiss dolls and my wife.
All right. So what I was saying was there's a video I discovered of from the 80s where this woman was making a PSA about her program, and she said she called it demetaling, where she took away all the shirts, all the albums and stuff, and says it was a program that actually got the kids out of heavy metal, quote unquote.
Wow.
Have you ever heard of that?
That just sounds satanic to me in itself. Like,
yeah.
Like not even good satanic. It sounds like evil that you have to take something that makes somebody happy away from them. I mean, I just think it's people misreading stuff. I think they see the imagery and they don't realize that Harry Potter is just as scary. It's like,
right.
But they'll still take their kids to a movie theater and drop them off to see Harry Potter, and there's all kinds of wizardry and crazy shit in those movies. But some people are just stupid. Like, I think the saddest thing is that maybe there's not enough time to ever do this, but like if people were like parents would have ever been able to meet somebody like Ronnie James Dio, like the guy was a class act. He was a very nice guy. I think if most parents would have met somebody like him, they'd be like, I should have my kids listening to heavy metal, I just think there's just a misperception in general about anything attached to heavy music, like I don't know much about this guy, but when you look at somebody like this kid, Justin Bieber, the reason parents buy their kids those records is because it looks like it's safe, Like if they look at a Kiss record, it doesn't look safe to them, even though the songs are pretty much poppy. Like if you listen to a Kiss song, they're pretty much pop, heavy rock songs.
Right.
You know, but the imagery scares the shit out of parents. So, but the thing that's funny is most kids love scaring the shit out of their parents, but sometimes it backfires. You know what I mean? Like where your parents will freak out, think you're on drugs, and take all your records away from you and your T-shirts. But to me, that's just another way to make your kid rebel even more.
Yeah, you're right on that. I always thought that good parenting is like the should be, bad parenting is probably the cause of most of the incidents. Like, there was a parent who blamed Beavis and Butthead for their child starting a fire, yet the parent failed to keep all the stuff that would light fires out of the child's way.
Yeah.
Or it was just like, I mean, it's a sad incident nonetheless, but you can't be putting the blame on something else that isn't like, something's fault. Yeah, I guess it's hard for a parent because, saying that they've failed as a parent is a pretty epic thing.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't want to blame themselves. There's no doubt. Though a lot of times with a lot of parents, they'll look for everything else but themselves. Like most really pretty awesome parents usually will look at themselves and go, maybe I should have done a better job. But a lot of times, like you'll see parents like when Priest got sued for these two kids that committed suicide. It's like they ended up trying to sue Priest, and it was a big court battle, and it really came down to that the parents probably weren't there for their kids, and so these kids did like a double suicide. And Judas Priest, I remember there was a whole big court case on this during the 80s.
The record playing backwards.
Yeah, but the thing that's so funny is nobody's, paying attention to how many successful cases you have of people that were into heavy metal and went on to do great things. There's a lot of people, there's even athletes that listen to heavy metal music, so I just think that they show more of the negative, and there's so many more positives,